Hey, what's up, guys? Grab some tea, coffee, snacks, whatever. This is going to be a little bit longer video because I'm going to show you how to install and configure and prepare and use the Uptime Kuma, which is the monitoring tool. And the greatest part of all this is the fact that I don't have any experience with it at all. I've just watched 5 minutes ago, 10-minute video by the network Chuck just to know where I am digging in. And we'll try to install it. We'll make definitely some mistakes. I'm going to try to resolve them live in this video, like no script, no planning, whatever. And this is a little bit awkward. I hope that everything is the camera right now is fine, because the setup like this is not the usual setup for me, and I don't actually see the screen of the phone, so hopefully I am in the correct place, whatever. So on the screen, well, basically what I did first, I didn't even know the web page for the Uptime Kuma, so I went to the Google Uptime Kuma, and the first page is GitHub. So the tool is open source, right? Here how it looks like, and this is what we will try to install on our system. There's also live demo. Apparently, you can try it. Demo server location Frankfurt, Germany, and there we go. Create username. Let's call it YouTube. Password, create. Password is too weak. Okay, let's make it a little bit more complicated. This one should be more complicated. So here we have a demo instance of the Uptime Kuma. This is how it looks like, but I don't want to play around with the demo. I want to deploy it myself. And as I previously said, like, here is the GitHub, where apparently somewhere here was also documentation. Or here, Uptime Kuma, docs. There we go. We also have a menu with like how to install, how to update, environment variables, reset a password, and everything else that, at least for now, we don't actually need. And the web page itself, where it is here, it is the web page. I was actually a bit confused. I was expecting something like fancy, as it usually gets for all of the softwares that tend to be like enterprise or something, but that's it. That's all that you have. And also you have a GitHub where you have a little bit of instructions how to actually install it. And as far as I know, like, if you use, as example, Linode Uptime Kuma, let's try to search it. Uptime Kuma is in the Linode marketplace, so that's one of the ways how you can install it. When you just sign up, fill in all the parameters, whatever your credentials, you log into the Linode, create a virtual machine, and you can specify right from the start. Just log in under select app section, select the app you would like to deploy, which is going to be Uptime Kuma, whatever, and you will get your Uptime Kuma on a dedicated virtual machine up and running without any additional configuration. I don't really want to mess around with the Linode right now, just because I don't have a calendar, and maybe it's also available on some other cloud providers, but I've actually Linode. No, so even the Linode is not here in the Git documentation. But officially, like, what we can do the Docker run. And I will tell you right away, this is what we'll actually do. We'll have Uptime Kuma running on our local host. We could also do the non-Docker installation through the platform, major Linux distros such as Debian, Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, Arch Linux, and other ones. Node.js, npm, git, pm2. Like, here is the clone, advanced installation. What do we have here? Yeah, basically the same stuff. Yeah, same stuff, how to install. But as I said, I'm going to go with the most simple way. Just run it from the Docker. And for that, I have my virtual machine up and running, which is Oracle Linux 8. We have it here in my Oracle VirtualBox. If you're completely new to the virtualization, whatever, and you want to try to create your own virtual machine from your own computer resources, I also have a video about how you can easily create the virtual machine on the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, right? I will link it somewhere above the video. So I have my CLI. I will make it like this, zoom in a little bit for you. This is the MOBA Xterm terminal client that I use for many years on my Windows. And let's check Docker PS. I have Docker already running. I've installed it previously. If you don't have a Docker, well, then just Google install Docker and fill in like whatever distribution you might have. Somehow I think the Ubuntu is the most popular choice for majority of the people running tech and running Linux. So there is documentation how you can install the Docker on your Ubuntu server. The setup is extremely easy. Like it's going to take 5 minutes or something. I'm using Oracle Linux, which is basically the same as a RHEL, so basically the same as a CentOS. And since I made some previous videos, I already have Docker up and running. So what I will do is just Docker run, copy paste actually. Copy paste here in the CLI. Docker run. I didn't want to execute it, but whatever. Restart always. Here will be our default port and Uptime Kuma linked to the app data, so that when we, let's say, accidentally or intentionally delete our container, we will not actually lose the data, because all of the data that is coming through our Uptime Kuma and configuration and whatever we'll create inside the app will going to be stored on my virtual machine in the app data. Name Uptime Kuma, and here are the official containers for the Uptime Kuma, right? So that was just one command that I actually accidentally clicked enter automatically since I copy pasted. So there was no container of the Uptime Kuma on my machine. So that was the first thing that happened automatically. It pulled up the latest build of the Uptime Kuma container, downloaded, and right now if I will type the Docker PS, here we have container up and running. Here's the container ID, image, command, whatever, created 40 seconds ago. We can even check the logs, like, and make sure that everything is fine. To do that, we need to type Docker logs and the container ID. And here we can see that everything is green. As I said, like, it's the first time when I'm doing that, so I have no idea how it actually should look like. But yeah, the thing is that everything is green, so that's supposedly good. We have database files. I'm not sure what kind of database is being used by the Uptime Kuma, but that's not relevant at this point. I don't think that it's something like MySQL or Postgres, maybe SQLite, whatever. Everything is successfully stored secret into database. No user needs setup. Adding route, adding socket handler in its server, listening on the port 3001. So supposedly, again, Docker PS, we have our Uptime Kuma up and running, and we can try to test that 3001. Let me copy paste this. So what I need to do is fill in IP of my virtual machine, which is 192.168.56.101, and the port that we just configured when we were starting the first time the Docker, right here, this one. If you can choose something else, like maybe this port is already busy for you, so you can use whatever port you would want to. And let's click enter, and hopefully everything will be fine. As you can see, we have the same screen as we previously had in the demo installation of the Uptime Kuma. We can choose the language, and there's quite a lot of languages you can choose from. I will definitely go with English. There's also Ukraine, Italian, Spanish, Danish, English. Yeah, so a lot of languages. Definitely you'll find your preference. Username, I'll type subscribe, because that's what you need to do when you're watching these videos if you want to help me to grow this channel, and if also you want to see some additional video about the tech stuff and not only. Password, so I previously tried to enter the password as a password and it said that it's not safe enough, so let's create something a bit more complex. I will obviously not tell you the password. Click create. So here we are. This is how it looks like. I'm looking on this. Well, I saw how it looks in some videos and also like here in the GitHub, but that's my first time logging in to the Uptime Kuma. Hooray. And let's try to see what we have here. So somewhere here in the settings, what do we have in the settings? Display time zone, okay, and a server time zone. Search engine visibility. Yeah, like if you're running on a public, which you probably don't want to do that, even if you're running on a Linode machine or whatever, you don't want to make your Uptime Kuma available for the public, for everyone. So normally you would handle that with some firewalls, security groups, whatever. You would probably limit your own personal IP only being able to access this. But if still you're running it on a public for some reason, if you need that, whatever, you can apparently discourage search engines from indexing the site. So you can make sure that someone randomly searching through the Google, like Uptime Kuma, dashboard, whatever, he will not find your installation. Security, no, sorry, that's a different menu. So entry page is a dashboard, primary base URL, so the one which you get after the login, which is the index, Steam API key for monitoring a Steam game server. So you can even monitor a Steam game server. That's actually very specific. I was not expecting to see it here. Enable NCSD, cache daemon for caching all the DNS requests, and this one is deprecated. Chromium executable for Docker users. If Chromium is not yet installed, it may take a few minutes to install and display a test result. It takes 1 gigabyte of disk space. So if you need that. Appearance, the most important part of the configuration, because the first thing that we need to do is change this to dark. And it already looks much prettier. Theme, normal, bottom, heartbeat bar. Apparently, it's going to be the visualization of the monitoring when we'll have it. Elapsed time under the heartbeat bar. No idea what it is. We'll see when we add something to monitor. Notifications. So whenever we'll have the monitoring, right? So that's the first thing for us to do, to check availability of some services or web pages or DNS or IP or TCP or some ports ping, whatever. That's one thing. And we'll have everything in a dashboard, like whenever the check is successful or whenever the check is failed. But that's not what you normally want to do, sitting 24/7 in front of your screen, trying to understand whether service is available. You want to receive notifications. And to do that, here's the place, like as I said, settings, notifications, setup notification. And you can choose from quite a wide list of the services where you can get your notifications. Regional, I don't know actually half of these and never used them, like Push Deer, Promo SMS, Flash Duty, something China specific, I guess. Never use it, I don't know. Splunk sounds more familiar. Telegram, definitely familiar. Webhook is... so you can customize, like if you have some app where you want to receive a notification and it's not here in the list, you can definitely use the webhook and create basically your own integration to your app. But it will require a little bit of the scripting and understanding of probably API of the application to which you want to send a notification. So as example, email. Host name, either enter the host name of the server you want to connect to, or local host if you intend to use the locally configured mail server transfer agent. So not apparently, but obviously, if you want to send email messages, you need to have SMTP server. You need to have your own mail server, or you can use something that's already available. As example, I don't know, Gmail. And you fill in all the parameters like the username, password, from who will send the notification to whom, and if you want to add someone in the CC or BCC, stuff like that. If, let's say, we want to do the Discord, where it is Discord, for that, we need some friendly name that we're going to use just for the visualization part, and the Discord webhook URL. You can get this by going to the server setting, integrations, view webhooks, new webhook. Let's actually try to do that. I have my Discord here. Yep, I'll move it like this. So, but you can do this by going to the server setting, integrations. Where are the server setting, integrations, and view webhooks, new webhook. Webhooks, view webhooks, new webhook. And Which one did I just created? This one. Okay, let's call it Uptime Kuma test. Where do I want to send it? Let's send it in the general just for the sake of testing. And here we have a URL. Just click copy. Copied. Okay. Save changes. Good. Copy once again, just to make sure. Webhook URL. Just copy paste it here. See, nothing. I'm not changing anything. Bot display name, Uptime Kuma, whatever. That sounds good. Hello, everyone. Well, let's see how it works. Default enabled and apply on all existing monitors. So whenever you will have something already monitored and whenever you'll be creating something new, this media type will be used by default. So let's click save. Save, cool. Is there any test? Yeah, there is. So no, wait, this is to create a new. Where is my Discord? Discord. Let's try to test it. Here is my, let's go back. Let's go to the general. Yep. And back to this. Click test. Send successfully. Hopefully. I have no idea if it works. And yes, there we go. Uptime Kuma, my Discord alert. Number one, testing. So we have a connection. This I will delete for now to not confuse all the good followers. No, not report, just delete. So we're good with the notification, right? Click save, it's here. TLS certificate expiry. HTTPS monitors trigger notifications when TLS certificate expires in 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days. So whenever you are monitoring some web page or whatever, you can monitor like response times, availability, the presence of some string that you would want to have, and that will also automatically monitor the certificates, TLS certificates that you have. And whenever they will be older than these parameters, apparently, you can add something new, like, I don't know, 30 plus, cool. You will also receive a notification about that. And at least in my opinion, this is a very good feature because most of the monitoring tools, they do have like functionality that you can monitor SSL expiration days, but for that you need to do the separate configuration, fill in some additional parameters whatsoever. It's very user friendly and user experience is super cool that in the Uptime Kuma this stuff goes by default. So click save, we have our notification. Cool. Reverse proxy, if you want to have it, go ahead, like nothing new. Tags, no idea what it does, at least for now. Monitor history, well, keep monitor history data for 180 days, set 0 for infinite retention. So we will also store, see, I told you, it's SQLite. So the database for Uptime Kuma is a SQLite, which is a very obvious choice because it's super light, well, SQLite, right? Yeah, and here you define like for how many days you want to store the history, apparently. And I would definitely not suggest to do it like this because this will eventually eat up all your disk space because infinite data means infinite disk consumption, which will lead to the bad things. And most likely, eventually, you will receive alert in your Discord or whatever that your Uptime Kuma storage free disk space is running out. What else? Docker host, not available. Please set up. No idea what it is yet. Security, change the password. 2FA. So 2FA is also available out of the box. Like you can set up two-factor authentication. So yeah, I'm not gonna set it up because I will need my phone, which is recording this video right now. API keys, so you can also do some integration with some other tools, proxies if you want them, backups, deprecated, since a lot of features were added and this backup feature is a bit unmaintained, it cannot generate or restore a complete backup. Please back up the volume of the data directly instead, because remember when we did this, we created the volume app data. So if you want to make backups, as the system says, you just need to back up this, and then whenever you spin up a new container or use some other installation, you can use this directory and you will have all the same configuration. About Uptime Kuma version 1.23.13, show updates if available, all good. And that's basically all the configuration that you have. So very easy. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's try to set something up. How to do that? probably using the big green button which states add new monitor. And this is the configuration for our monitoring. And monitor type, there is a list, not too extensive, but should be sufficient. Like, first thing first, like, I don't think the Uptime Kuma is a monitoring tool for some enterprise grade companies, data centers, whatever, where you need to understand everything about your services, applications, whatever. This is more like very simple, very light, and basically for the uptime. Well, Uptime Kuma, right? So for uptime, for availability, which will tell you when something is up and when something is down. That's it. So let's try to set up HTTPS. Yeah, HTTP or HTTPS. Friendly name. What can we check? Let's check the Uptime Kuma webpage. It's like this. Go here, friendly name, Uptime Kuma web. URL like this, heartbeat interval. So how often are we actually gonna check the web page? And let's make it 20 seconds just for the sake to not wait for the too much time. Retries, maximum retries before the service is marked as down and a notification is sent. Failures sometimes happen, and not always it is because the availability or unavailability of the web page. Sometimes it could be something on your side. So I would personally use some retries. Let's set it to 1 heartbeat retry interval. So whenever it fails, try again after 20 seconds, I guess, because of this interval. And if it fails again, then it's a failure. Request timeout. Timeout after 16 seconds. You can configure that. And resend notifications if down X times consecutively. Resend disabled. Yeah. Advanced. Certificate expiry notification. So this is good, right? This is the one which I stated previously, like when the certificate, SSL certificate, this one, let's actually check. No, I don't know if connection is secure, certificate is valid. This one is valid till January 1, 2025. So whenever December 20 or something, it's going to be like less than 10 days, you will receive a notification in your Discord, in my case. Which is fine. Like whenever you're monitoring some web page, you definitely should be using that. Max redirects, accept status codes. And this is basically which HTTP code will tell you that the result is positive. And you can learn about all the HTTP codes by Googling HTTP response status code. Successful responses are from 200 till 299. Redirection, client error, server error, and informational responses. So success is good, which means this setting is perfect for us. Monitor group, not available. I don't know what it does. And tags. So remember, they're in the settings. You could also add a tags. Let's add it. List is empty. Name, service, no, yes, no, let's do it like that. Websites, like this. Color, let's make it blue, whatever. Add. So we're using the tags. What else can we do? We can notifications. Remember, we just set it up and they're available by default. Setup notifications already done. Proxy, I don't need any proxy. HTTP options, if you want to not only check if the web page is available, maybe you want to post something. So send the data to the web server. If it will respond with HTTP code that you're expecting, then everything is good. If not, then that's a failure. For us, get right now will be fully enough. So I think we're good. Save. Uptime Kuma, 200, okay. And we got a first green color. So supposedly, let's wait for a little bit because, the monitoring is already there. There we have our first data set. Response time was 172. There we have a second data set, 129. And that's it. We're monitoring our Uptime Kuma official webpage, and we can have also the information about certificate expiration. 245 days we have left. Uptime is 100%. This is changing. Cool, right? Very easy. Let's try to add something else. Status is up, so this is good. Let's try to do, what could we do? TCP port. Yes, let's do the TCP port, but let me think, like, systemctl status HTTPD not started. Systemctl start HTTPD started. So right now I have a Apache web engine running on the same Linux machine where my Uptime Kuma is running. So let's try to configure monitoring of Apache port 80. TCP port, friendly name, local HTTPD server. Host name, that's gonna be 192.168.56.101, and port is 80. Heartbeat interval, let's make it 10, again to not wait too much. Retries, heartbeat retry interval, we know everything about that. Upside down mode, so basically inverse, like when it's available, it's bad. And if we don't check it, then when it's available, it's good. Description, if you want to have it. Monitor groups, we'll try it later. Tags, let's not use tag for this. Click save, value must be greater or equal to 20. So the minimal update interval of the Uptime Kuma is 20 seconds. Is that enough? I don't know. You judge. Well, many things can happen in the period of 20 seconds. So it is likely that your service could be down for 5 seconds and you not notice that. Would it mean that you would normally want to monitor all of this stuff every second? Probably not, because again, it takes a lot of the data to process and a lot of the data to store on your systems. So click save. There we go. Ping is 1 second. This is green. Let's check our this. All good. Response times, very good. Certification expiration, still like that. This is also green, 1ms. Let's wait for something else. This will disappear in a second. There we go, 0. Yep. So let's try to break it. Well, not break it. I will just systemctl stop HTTPD. So right now, most likely, port 80 will not be available, port 80. And there we go. We have a first alert in the Uptime Kuma. The local HTTPD server is down. Connection refused. And what should we have right now? We should have a notification in our Discord server, right? So let's check it out. There we go. Your service local HTTPD server went down. Service name local HTTPD server, the service URL, time, and error message that we got. Pretty good, pretty easy. Let's turn it back up. Start HTTPD, and the next check again should be green. I think we'll not receive any recovery message, which again, I guess it's fine. But let's check. No, we do. We actually do. Your service local HTTPD is up, so it works as easy as it is. So dashboard. We have 2 services monitoring. Here are the events that were happening. Up, down, up, whatever. Both services are up right now. Do we want to try something else? DNS, I don't want to do the DNS. Steam, I don't want to set a Steam right now. I do have my SQL server, but I'm... Okay, let's try to do that for the sake of fun. Systemctl status mysqld not started. Systemctl start mysqld. Let's hope that it works. I don't remember. Yeah, it is available. Show databases. All good. The thing is that, okay, I'll try to set it up. Friendly name, local MySQL monitoring. Then we need to use the connection string. The thing is, no, maybe I do have a Zabbix username. Let's try to connect through the CLI. MySQL -u, Zabbix -p. Zabbix, yes, we do have a Zabbix username. So Zabbix user in the database. So that's what we're going to use. Username, change to Zabbix. Password, Zabbix at host 192.168.56.101. Port default 3306 for MySQL. And database, what database do we want to use? Let's use Zabbix. And this is a coincidence. Zabbix is also a monitoring tool. I have a second channel which has more than 150 videos about a Zabbix. It's not a comparison of one or another. I just have a Zabbix database handy. Password. So if you don't want to put it in a connection string, apparently where it is in the plain text, I guess you can put it here where it's just hidden, right? So if someone else will have access, I guess he will not see that. And let's run what kind of query we could run. Now let's try to get one value, and for that, use Zabbix, select everything from, I don't know, hosts. Let's do it like this. Too many. What could we do? Let's do it like this. Select host from hosts. Okay. Somewhere here we should have the Zabbix server. Zabbix server. Okay. Select from hosts where host equals Zabbix server. There we go. And now let's try to select everything. Select everything like this. So we could try to get, let's try to get a host. And because we know the host ID. So this is what we're going to use. Let's go back here. Query, select host from hosts where host ID equals, copy paste like this. I guess you could also, I guess you need add a semicolon. Heartbeat interval. Let's go back to the 20 seconds just to make sure that everything runs. Retries, advanced, upside down, all looks good. Save. But I'm not sure, like, server's down. Host is not allowed to connect to this. That was I was afraid of. Let's try to find, like, I don't remember the command. Maybe I do. Grant all privilege. Grant all privilege on Zabbix to the Zabbix database to user uptime at like this, so we'll be able to connect from any IP address. And that's the problem with the Zabbix user. When I created it, I've specified that you will be able to enter only from the localhost IP address, but Uptime Kuma is trying to connect from the Docker container IP, which is different. So to Uptime at all IP addresses, identified by, and here we need to use the password. Let's use the same Uptime. Hopefully like this. No. Grant all privilege on Zabbix to uptime at... Okay, I don't know the command. To use near... Maybe it's like this. Oh, wait, let me try again. Where it is like this. Paste. Ticks? No. Okay, MySQL 8... Create new user. With password not working, answers, create user. Okay, like this. And uptime username at %. Create user uptime. Okay, and now we need to grant a privilege. Grant all to all on all the databases to user uptime who is connecting from percentage all the IP addresses. Supposedly good. Let's try to change our Uptime Kuma. Where is the edit? Edit is here. N uptime and uptime. Click save. Saved. Up. Rows 1 returned. Very good. Let's close all this and let's see what we're actually getting. Local MySQL monitoring. We're getting the we're getting just the amount of the rows, but not the actual value. And here is the response time, which is supposedly fine. That's not a big problem. So we're monitoring just the amount of the rows from the query, which can give us like some advantages or ways that we're monitoring, but it's not actually giving us like a lot. It would be much better if we could actually get the real value from this query. But okay, whatever. And we don't have, no, we do have alert about MySQL availability, which was down and up. So that's good. Let's click save. Let's go back to the dashboard. One other thing that I want to check is, okay, local MySQL monitoring, edit. Can I change some thresholds like when? No. No, I cannot do any custom triggers like to say if the received value is not the received value, but the amount of the rows is like 5, then it's a problem. If 3, then it's not. So it's just like either basically it's yes or no. Is it receiving something or it's not receiving anything, which is fine. But okay, enough with setting up the monitoring. There's just one last thing that I want to try. It's the status page. And the status page basically allows you to create a status page, but the thing is that you can share it. You can share it online, and it will contain only information that you want it to contain, like only those monitors that you want your users or whoever else you will be sharing this with to see. So the name, first, whatever, uptime status, and status, let's call it, I don't know, YouTube. Next, oh my god, make it dark, please make it dark. How can I make it dark? Do you know? Show certificate, domain name, show tags, team. Oh, here. Much better. Status, YouTube, description. You can write something. You can add something in a footer. Show tags. Let's show them. Team, okay. Show certificate expiry, okay. Google Analytics. Add a monitor. So Uptime Kuma website. What else? Local HTTPD service. Cool. You can change them upside down like this. And save, right? Yeah. And there we go. We have our own status page with Uptime Kuma IP address /status/YouTube that right now I could share like with someone else and they can log in. As you can see, they cannot really do anything. I don't think they will have, or maybe they will. I'm not sure. I don't have any other IP handy right now. I think they will not have access to this, which would not make sense for them to have this. Go to dashboard. Yep. Edit status page. Create incident. Title. Disaster. This video is great. Procrastination. Hopefully it is. Post. Video is great. Whatever. Let's go back, save. And yeah, so they will also see some incidents that we can fill in ourselves. And that's basically it about the functionality. Like there's nothing much more, but I believe you can agree that the setup is, let's go back here. The setup is very simple. Like that's the biggest advantage. You don't need to dig in through all sort of different configurations. And especially if you just want to monitor your home lab or just a couple of your servers at office, it's extremely easy and no big hustle. So I hope you like it. Try it out yourself. As you saw, it's like super easy to install and configure it. Don't forget to subscribe. That's the best way how you can support this channel. And we'll see you in the next videos. Thank you for watching and goodbye.